Good morning, guys. How are you? It is Friday, May the 2nd, and guess what I'm doing? I'm going to work. Alrighty guys, we are finally on the road. I had to adjust the lighting of the camera because the bright light, if I don't turn the light all the way down on my camera, the brightness or whatever it's called, then it just blurs out the background. So I've literally turned it all the way down. I'm gonna see how this looks. But anyway, let's just get into this little vlog. Today is really the second busiest day of the month for me. Yesterday was the first. We're always super busy. It's usually my longest day, although it really wasn't that bad. We got out of there, I don't know, I think I got home by 6 o'clock, which is really good, to be honest. I slept good last night. I did wake up with a little bit of a headache. The night before I did not sleep good at all. Anyway, I just need to catch up on my rest this weekend. I don't really have a lot planned per usual, but my daughter is coming to clean for me Saturday, so I am super excited about that because I know I've said, I'm not sure if I said it in this video, maybe I did, but anyway, she got a new job. She's been there, this will be her third week now, and you know, she's always been cleaning for me every 2 to 3 weeks basically. So I've been are you going to clean for me, because my house needs to be cleaned and I really don't want to spend all day long on a Saturday cleaning. So she's gonna see how it goes and come clean in the morning. We will be there. I think she's gonna come around 9, so I'm going to probably try to get up at 6 o'clock just so that I can I like to get up early. I know that sounds crazy. I do like the idea of sleeping in, but if I don't get up at 6, then I'm gonna have to be rushing and I need to get my shower and kind of get out of her way. Then I'm gonna go upstairs and work in my office. I still have a lot more work to do up there. I need to make me some new envelopes. I ordered a new binder. I'm going to break up my sinking funds kind of into short-term and long-term. And then I have really a long-term savings binder to where most of this money is going to kind of go back to the bank that I need to put together. I ordered the binder a long time ago. It looks like a little fake LV. It's got the little squares on it that I just ordered from Amazon. So I have plenty of work to keep me occupied, plus I need to record my cash stuffing video, plus we need to go get groceries in the morning. Now Charlie is off today. I've called a roofer to come check our roof out, and I'm hoping that he does come today. He said he would come either Thursday or Friday, and so Charlie can take these Fridays off for some reason that I can't remember. So he was like, I can take Friday off, and I was like, well, the guy said we didn't have to be there, but it probably would be better so that Charlie could kind of show him the leak that we found on the inside and stuff. But ultimately they won't fix the drywall, which we would probably call the guy that redid our den last year, because they were really good with drywall. So you know, if we can just get the roof fixed, hopefully it will just be an easy fix. We'll see. I'll let you know later in the vlog whether or not they came and what the verdict is, and whether or not I need to call my homeowner's insurance if they say that we need a new roof, because I really don't want to pay for that out of pocket, because that will literally wipe out all of my savings, probably plus some. Anyway, so yeah, that's what's going on today. And then I also gave Charlie $100 from my household envelope so that he can go to Walmart. Every so often there's a few things that we like to stock up on at Walmart. I did place a Sam's Club order and got my cat litter, dog treats, cat treats. What else did I get? I can't remember now. A bunch of boring stuff. Nothing to do like a haul or anything. And that was $200. And I have my $2,300 that I need to redeposit from doing my cash condensing. So at lunch, I am going to have to go to the bank and make that deposit. And yeah, probably run a couple of other errands. Sorry if y'all were moving. This road is like super bumpy. Honestly, it needs to be repaved, but most roads here in Murfreesboro do need to be repaved. There's so much traffic. It's almost like Nashville. Not quite as bad, but almost. Anyway, yeah, so I really am gonna work today. The early part of next week will also be busy because, again, we will be wrapping up month end. I don't think that I'm gonna have to work this weekend. I feel like we can get most of our month end stuff done within a couple of days. Even if we have to work late, then we'll get a lot of it done. So let me know down in the comments what y'all been up to. I have not picked out my meals this week. I honestly haven't even thought anything about it. It's been like the last week of the month, and the first week is always so busy at work. And then with trying to like do all of my cash videos as well, I swear I'm working like 24 hours a day, it seems like. Yeah, I don't know really what sounds good this week. It's probably going to be something simple. I don't feel like meal prepping a whole lot, to be honest. And whenever I kind of get in that mood to where I don't want to like have to focus and do like a bunch of stuff that I'm not familiar with, so it will probably be stuff that I've eaten before for sure, unless I can find some simple like one pot recipe. Those have kind of been my go-tos, my favorites, and I find most of those on TikTok. I have kind of went through and like looked at the videos, and the same ones keep coming up over and over again. You know, I did find one meal a couple of weeks ago on Pinterest, and I have been going back to YouTube to try to get some meal inspiration. But let me know down in the comments, is there something that y'all like, something that you would like to see me make? We'll see, and I might try to incorporate that. But I'm all about some easy meals that don't require a ton of ingredients. And I know some of mine might seem like sometimes they have a lot of ingredients, but if I look at a recipe and the list is like 25 ingredients, I'm not making that. I cannot get behind that. Or if there's 25 steps to it, it needs to be something simple. So that's the kind of meals that I like to make. I am in the mood for Charlie to grill us out some burgers this weekend. I probably will see if he will do that tomorrow. He went to did he go to the grocery store last weekend? I think he did. Yeah, I had so much to do last weekend, I didn't even make it to the grocery store. And I do like to go myself and like pick out my fruit and apples and stuff. I actually had leftover apples. I didn't even have to have him get any of those last week. And we always just go for like the cut up pineapple and cantaloupe. You know, one thing that I would like to do is try to cut back my grocery budget to where it's more like $200 a week instead of $300 a week, because I know that that's expensive. But y'all, the groceries are so expensive out here. I mean, I swear, used to, back years ago, when my kids were still at home and everything, and I was buying for 4 people, I don't think I spent $300 a week. I don't. And I was always on some diet. Now, what I used to do before I really got into doing WW in like 2019-ish, I think is when I started Weight Watchers. I've done Weight Watchers on and off my whole life, but I got really serious about it in 2019. And that's when I also started this YouTube channel, late 2019 or early 2020. Anyway, but I used to do like a lot of like low carb meals and stuff like that. And so, and then I would also order like some prepped meals. And something that I'm also wanting to change, but anyway, before I get off subject, see, my brain, it like goes from idea to idea. So anyway, I used to kind of buy myself stuff separate from like what Charlie and the girls ate, you know, so they would maybe have like a spaghetti night, you know, just different things. And I didn't really meal prep for dinners back then. I meal prepped like lunches for me to take to work. I kind of did it opposite from what I do now. Now I meal prep for Charlie and I, but of course the kids, you know, kids, they're not just going to eat the same thing. Most adults don't like to eat the same thing over and over like we do. But I mean, honestly, it's not that bad. I just pick out, you know, 2 meals. I try to think like what mood I'm in. Am I in like a mood for like some Asian food, some, you know, Italian? Do I want pasta? Do I want, you know, just like a meat and a veggie and a carb, a simple meal. I almost call those like bro meals, because if you watch any bodybuilders, all of their meals, they're all focused around protein, carbs, and fats. They count their macros, and almost all of their meals you're gonna have like chicken, rice, and a vegetable or something like that. So whenever I do like my quick chicken, rice, and veggie meals, I'm like, okay, this is kind of like my bro meal. But I don't like to eat chicken, rice, and vegetables for every meal, but I could if I had to. I'm really not that picky, to be honest. I'm not one that has to have a huge variety. I eat the same thing for breakfast every day. We'll see. I have thought about making like some breakfast burritos or something. I don't know how those would work out, and I'm afraid that they would get a little soggy. I've thought about changing up our breakfast a little bit. I don't like to eat carbs for breakfast. That's why I just stick to my bacon and eggs, because as soon as I like eat like my carbs and stuff at lunch, it's almost like it makes me feel more snacky. So the protein does better for me for breakfast. I'm actually almost to work. I'm fixing to turn on the street, so I've probably been chatting now for at least 10 or 15 minutes. I got a late start because I had to like reset my camera up. So yeah, so I had to redo my camera because the light was too bright once I pulled out on the road. That's a hard thing about driving to work in the mornings, because the sunshine is no joke. It is always like pointed directly at me. So hopefully the color of this clip will be a little bit better. Yeah, I'm going to get to work. It's 8:08, so you know, I'll be getting there 10 after 8 or so, and I will chat with you guys later. We'll see what we get into this weekend. Like I said, my daughter's coming to clean in the morning. Not sure how much vlogging I'm gonna do. Not sure if I'm gonna do any shopping or anything. I have done some shopping online. Ordered the Sam's Club stuff. Charlie's gonna go to Walmart today. We'll do groceries tomorrow like usual, and yeah, that's pretty much gonna wrap up my weekend. I feel like life has been kind of boring. We're not getting the kids or anything this weekend because it's the first weekend of the month, and I will be way too tired. Like, I can already tell that I'm gonna be tired today. So anywho, I'll chat with you guys here in a second. Alrighty, good morning guys. I am back. It is Saturday morning. It's about 10:15 or so, and my daughter is here cleaning. She's finishing up upstairs, and then I'm gonna head upstairs and work in my office because I need to record my cash budgeting video. I need to like work on all of my replacement envelopes and all of that good stuff. But I was sitting here trying to do my grocery list because I have not been able to pick anything out to eat this week. I don't know what my problem is. I think I said yesterday that I was like struggling to pick out something, but I did find one recipe on TikTok, and it basically is kind of like an Asian meal with some ground chicken and Chinese 5-spice, which I don't really know what that is, and I don't know if Publix has it or not, but I'll show y'all the video real quick if it will focus. Let me see if you can see that. Okay.
To make this sesame ground chicken, all you have to do is fry chicken mince with Chinese 5-spice, garlic and red onion. Once it's golden, add in soy sauce, sesame oil, rice wine vinegar and honey. And lastly, stir through some fresh chili and spring onion. And you want to keep frying it until that honey gets caramelized. Then we're going to serve it up with some chopped green beans. Just use the same pan and get it really hot. And fry for a few minutes, and at the end add in sesame seeds and honey. Give it another shake and you're good to serve up alongside some long grain white rice, the ground sesame chicken and the honey sesame beans. Top with some fresh spring onion and a little bit more light soy sauce. Follow for more quick and easy high protein meals.
So I found that recipe, and he goes through it really quick. It's like a less than a minute video, and he does have the ingredients listed. I will do ground chicken or ground turkey. I'm just going to see. I don't use a lot of ground chicken, so we'll see if I use that. On the chilies, I put like 3 or 4 chilies down. I will not put the onion in. I don't know if I want to do like some ramen noodles with it, because you know, I did that one like Asian recipe a while back, and I made the ramen, and that was pretty good. I'd have to look back and see how to make that again, and also pick up some more ramen noodles. But I think that I might make that meal. That sounds pretty good. For my other meal, I thought about just doing like my chicken fajitas, because Monday is Cinco de Mayo, and then we will have a Mexican meal. My Mexican meal that I made this past week, it was a little spicy for me, so I didn't fully enjoy it. But I love the chicken fajitas because it is a 0-point meal, and then I can just eat my baked Tostitos with my cauliflower rice, and it's like just the perfect meal. And I do think that I have some more of those Frontera packets. Let me see. Okay, yeah, so I have 2 of them in there, which the last time that I got these, I had to order them on Amazon. So whenever I use my last one, I'll probably just do another order on Amazon because I don't know really if they carry these in the stores anymore. So I think that that's going to be my meal prep. Charlie left to go run an errand, and I mentioned the chicken fajitas to him, which he doesn't really care, but he was like, oh, that sounds good. So then we can have like this Asian ground chicken, or what is it, sesame ground chicken, and either rice or noodles. I'm kind of leaning towards doing the noodles with it, even though I'm going to do cauliflower rice with the chicken fajitas. I kind of like to do a high point meal and a low point meal, so we will see. But that's going to be, I guess that's going to be my menu. Now, another thing that I've been thinking about changing up is my lunches, because I've been eating like turkey sandwiches, you know, for years, and I have thought about like trying some frozen meals for lunch, and that's not really my favorite thing to do, but sometimes I just get like tired of trying to think of something. I don't want to have to cook another meal. I don't know. I still want to eat my fruit, but like with me, it is easier for me. Like I could eat, you know, my frozen meal, heat that up or whatever, and then eat my fruit a little bit later. I love my fruit bowls, so the fruit's not going to go anywhere. Another thing that I've also been wanting to do is to try to cut down on my grocery budget. I don't really know how I'm going to do that because I swear y'all, and this week we've spent all of our household money, probably just about all of the grocery money, you name it, it has been spent. So anyway, we'll see if we can try to be a little bit more frugal at the grocery store, but I do like to buy good quality food. So again, I'm unsure if I want to do away with my sandwiches, but then I kind of get tired of the sandwiches, and you know, the thought of just having like a quick easy meal to heat up sounds good. I would only do it for 4 days, and then on Fridays I would still take my little homemade pizza. So I would still have my pizza Friday. That's like my little treat at the end of the week, and I love it. So anyway, I'm going to get upstairs and get to working in my office. I may record a little bit. Here's Miss Luna, if y'all want to see her. Come here, Luna. She's not going to come. She's like, no, don't put me on camera. Come here, Luna. Say hi to everybody. Here, let's smile. Let's get a thumbnail picture. Did you smile? You didn't smile. She probably got white cat hair all over my black top, but that's okay. Anyway, so yeah, I'm gonna get my stuff together and get upstairs. I think that she's probably done up there and ready to come down here. So I probably will vlog a little bit of the stuff that I'm making. I need to make sure I take an extra battery up there with me. I'm trying to think what else I need. Charlie left to go to Jared's because my other ring, one of the little diamonds fell out of the side of it. And of course, it's the ring that I got from my friend. So it's the one that's not under warranty. So I'm not exactly sure how much that is going to cost to fix. But since we're up early and he doesn't really have anything to do, it's kind of rainy outside. He worked outside in the yard all day yesterday. So I was like, do you want to run an errand while I go upstairs and record my cash stuffing video and work on my envelopes and stuff? So he's running over there to see, I don't know if he'll have to leave the ring, if they will do it on the spot or what, but it's literally just one tiny little diamond, but it bothers me. It's like a little hole right there. So I've been wanting to get that fixed. It happened after I got my ring size down. I don't know if it loosened up during the sizing or what, because it was perfectly fine before that, and it was fine once I got it back. And then just one day at work I looked down and there was one of the little tiny diamonds missing, like the second to the last one on one side. So anyway, he's gonna go take that and see what they can do, and then once he gets back, We'll see how much I've gotten done upstairs. I tend to take like 5 times longer than what I think it's going to take me. So yeah, let's go get busy. Alrighty guys, welcome back. It is a Sunday. Sorry I did not check back in again yesterday. I worked up in my office. My daughter was here cleaning, and then I ended up kind of with a bad headache and not feeling that well. And so I decided to take me a long nap, and that pretty much lasted the rest of the day. I'm actually working on my egg bites. I am just filling up the little muffin tins right now. The oven is preheating, so I thought that we would just jump straight into meal prep real quick. So for today I am making, what am I making? Well, I'm making my egg bites, and I am going to make chicken fajitas with the Spanish cauliflower rice. And then I decided on that meal that I showed y'all yesterday that I found on TikTok, I'm going to make that with a ground chicken, and then I'm going to do noodles instead of rice because we're having the cauliflower rice with the chicken fajitas, so that way it doesn't feel like we're eating rice twice. And that rhymes. I didn't mean to be a poet and not know it, but I'm gonna do the ramen noodles. I need to pull back up the recipe that I found for that because those noodles turned out good, and I can't even remember now how I made that meal. I think maybe it was like chicken and veggies and noodles or something, but I'm just gonna do the noodles just because I felt like that would be better to pair with that meal instead of the rice. And yeah, we got the same ramen that we got the last time, which is freaking expensive fancy bag at Publix. They don't have any cheap ramen. I thought the next time that I go somewhere like Walmart or Sam's Club or Costco, although I don't want ramen to last me for the rest of my life because it will definitely expire, but, and y'all want me to tilt y'all down so you can see me fill the egg muffins? That's what I'm doing. I filled that one, and then I kind of have to swap them. So anyway, I will put my egg muffin recipe down in the description box. I've made it several times. If you are new here, I don't necessarily like to record making it all the time because I feel like it's repetitive because I make it every week. I have thought about changing up my breakfast a little bit, but I don't really know. The egg bites are easy. They're kind of a pain in my bum to make on the weekend, on Sunday. I don't know why. It's just something that I guess I've made it so much it just feels like a task, and I kind of want something else, but these are easy to heat up on the go. You know, I take them to work with me, all of that stuff. So I don't know. We'll see what I end up doing for breakfast if I change it at all. I may not. But anyway, that's one reason that I don't record like doing the egg bites from beginning to end every video because it's the same thing. But I'll put the recipe down in the description box for you. They're good. We just store them in the fridge in a container and then just heat them up. Of course, my battery's going to die. The other thing that I'm going to make is the banana bread with the sugar-free cake mix. I call it Hannah banana bread because I found that on her Instagram a few years ago, and I have made that over and over again. It is one of our favorites. So I might go ahead and get that mixed up first before starting on the actual meals because that takes about 45 minutes to bake, and all of my other recipes will be on the stovetop. So let me finish these and get these in the oven. They need to bake for 30 minutes, and then we will get everything together to do the banana bread. So I will be right back. Alrighty guys, I am back ready to start on the banana bread. For the banana bread, you just need minimal ingredients, but you will need one of these zero sugar yellow cake mixes, 2 eggs. I have my eggs up here. 3 ripe bananas. I actually have 4. I'm going to go ahead and use all 4 of them just to use them up. And let's see what else. A dash of vanilla I will put in there. And then you're going to mix all of that up, put it in your bread pan, and then you're going to sprinkle some monk fruit sweetener on top. To me, this is the best part. It makes a nice little crunch. So yeah, let's just throw this together and then it will be ready to pop in the oven. It cooks at 350 also. And again, I found this on Instagram. How long ago did she post this? Back in 2021. Okay, so Life with Hannah Banana. This is the recipe. And yeah, I love it. It is so easy. It's so good. I always go back to the original post because it's easier for me to find. But I actually need to like type it up or whatever so that I have it so that I don't have to get my phone out. But anyway, Life with Hannah Banana. So we are going to get started. I'm going to put my eggs in first and then put in my bananas, and then we will mash those. I like to use a potato masher, and that seems to work best. But you can mash them up with a fork. You don't have to have a potato masher. I just happen to have one, and I do not make mashed potatoes with it. So at least I have a use for it. So 2 eggs, and then I'm just going to put all of my bananas in. And then I'm just going to use my potato masher. This is an old one that we probably had for 25 years or so, and mash them up. Again, you can just mash them with some forks. Okay, then we're going to go in with the whole cake mix. And a splash of vanilla. And then I'm just going to mix this up well. Oh, I need to get my bread pan out as well. Okay, I'm going to spray my pan with the Pam baking spray. I love this stuff. And then we're just going to put it all in. Okay, that looks perfect. It is all in there except for the monk fruit sweetener, and we're going to sprinkle some on top. You can go as heavy or as light as you want to on here. I'm going to do probably 2 or 3 good-sized teaspoons because I want there to be a nice little crunch in every bite. Well, on the top. Okay, perfect. That's ready to go in, and usually mine has to cook for about 45 minutes, maybe even a little bit longer. I will just take like a knife and stick in the center of it until it's not gooey anymore. I don't want to overcook it, but I don't want to undercook it either. So the eggs are still in the oven. We're just going to let this set here, and we'll put that in a minute, and we're going to get started on one of our meals. I'm not sure which one I want to make first. Alrighty guys, I am almost ready to get started on the sesame ground chicken. I'm going to get the banana bread in the oven first and go swap out my laundry and all that, but I've been gathering up all of the ingredients so that I'm ready to go. So I have 2 pounds of ground chicken here that I'm going to use, and you're also going to need some honey. We're going to probably use 4 teaspoons or tablespoons. I'm kind of doubling the recipe that they showed on TikTok, and this is actually a local honey that was made here that I bought from somebody at work that makes it. I don't know if I actually need the garlic powder. My garlic powder is empty over there, so I need to refill it. That's what that's doing there. These are the nice little expensive ramen noodles that we got, and I'm probably going to cook all 4 packs of those. I think the last time that's what I did, and that worked out perfect. And then I also am going to use a broccoli instead of the green beans that he used in the recipe. I have the other one. I've got 2 bags of this, and I've already steamed this one in the microwave. And then that way I can just throw it in maybe with the noodles and then mix it all together, so then we can have this nice little ramen bowl. So, you know, I kind of have to put my little twist on everything. But I'm also going to need some minced garlic. And we did find the Chinese 5-spice that he called for. I don't know if that will focus. There we go. Chinese 5-spice. I've never used this before, so we will see how that tastes. We're also going to need some sesame oil. I have that here. Some rice vinegar, and then of course some soy sauce, and then salt and pepper as well. So I'm going to get started, and probably I don't know exactly how I'm going to do it. We'll see. I'll just figure it out as I go. Let me get y'all set up, and then we will get started on this dish. Hopefully it turns out yummy. Alright, I am back. I thought about it while I was swapping out my laundry, and I'm just going to cook everything in one pot. I'm going to combine kind of the 2 recipes, because the other recipe that I made with the ramen was like a ground beef ramen, and it's basically she cooked the beef, took it out, and then cook the ramen with some frozen veggies. So I'm going to cook the ground chicken, season it however he says to season it, with the 5 spice, the sesame oil, the soy sauce, the rice vinegar, all of that stuff, the honey, and kind of caramelize that chicken. And then I will take it out, and then we're going to put the ramen and the broccoli in and cook that together. And so it's going to kind of be a combination of the two, and then I will put everything together so that we will just have basically a ramen bowl. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to spray a little bit of this olive oil spray in, and I'm going to get my ground chicken ready and get it in, and I will be back kind of once the chicken is browning and we get ready to season it up. And then I do like to use my little chopper here. I do spray it with a little bit of the olive oil spray so that the meat doesn't stick to it. And I'm going to get this chopped up and get this going. Another ingredient that he calls for is some fresh chilies. And Charlie picked up this can of the green chilies. So I'm going to use this instead of fresh chilies because we do not have those. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and season while this is cooking with my salt and pepper. And I'm also going to do probably 3 good-sized teaspoons of the minced garlic. His recipe calls for 2 cloves, and I'm kind of doubling it, so we'll just do 3 good teaspoons. And then it calls for 1 teaspoon of this Chinese 5 spice, so I guess I'm just going to do 2 teaspoons. I've never used that Chinese 5 spice. I've actually never even heard of it. Have y'all used that? Let me know down below. I'm sure some of you have. I end up with some, it smells almost kind of sweet actually. It's got an interesting smell. Okay, so I'll be back. I'm going to cook this until it's almost done, and then we will add in the sesame oil, the rice vinegar, the honey, all of that stuff. I'm going to get my noodles opened. You don't need the seasoning packets or anything that's in with the noodles either, so we're just going to season them with the seasonings that we're using for the rest of the dish. Okay, so I think that the chicken is about done. We are going to cook it for quite a while after we add the honey because we want that to kind of caramelize and almost get crispy. So now we're going to go in with about 3 or 4 tablespoons of sesame oil. His recipe calls for 2 tablespoons. I'm just going to kind of eyeball it. Say 1, 2, 3. We'll just do like a heavy 3 tablespoons. This is pretty strong, so you never want to use too much of that. And then we're going to do the same with the rice vinegar. 1, 2, 3. And then it also calls for soy sauce. We're just going to kind of go in with however much soy sauce, and then we might add it during the week as well. You can never have too much of that. And our honey. And I'm just going to kind of pour this. I will have to clean that off. We might need more honey as well to put in with the noodles. And that is the best honey that I've probably ever had. It is really good. So I'm going to basically cook this until the honey kind of caramelizes. Which that's what made this recipe look good to me, because y'all know I like everything like really well done, and it looked kind of crispy. Then we'll add in the green chilies, and what else goes in? Oh, I guess it says to go ahead and add in the chili and the, I think I'm supposed to go ahead and add the chilies in now. So we'll go ahead and do that, which I did open my can and I just kind of drained some of the liquid off. Okay, I'll be back. I'm going to let this cook until it's kind of nice and crispy. Then we're going to get the noodles in. Alrighty guys, so I got my ground chicken out of the skillet. It is just sitting over here to the side. And now we're going to put in 5 cups of water. This is to cook the ramen, so you want to bring it to a boil. So it is on high heat. The skillet was getting really hot. I did move it off for a minute because I almost was feeling like the chicken was going to burn. So now I'm going to go ahead and get my packets of ramen that I have not opened yet, like I said I would. and get those ready. And then once the water's boiling, we're going to put the ramen in and just kind of let it break apart. And then we will add in the broccoli. Alrighty guys, it's just about ready to boil. I'm going to go ahead and add in the ramen. I'm going to let the ramen soften up a little bit and break it apart before I add in the broccoli. The broccoli's already kind of been steamed in the microwave, so it's not frozen. And then one thing that I've decided to do, once I put it all back together, I'm actually going to use this hoisin sauce. This is really good. I've used it before. And I may use some of this oyster sauce as well, and a little bit of soy sauce, just to make a sauce to put over the top of it, because I kind of feel like it's going to need it. I think that will make it kind of come together better. So y'all know I always like to be modifying all of the recipes and just kind of make it my own. Okay, these are breaking apart pretty easily. Okay, so that is looking lovely. I'm going to go ahead and put in the broccoli. Again, it's already been steamed in the microwave. And hopefully this broccoli does okay in this dish. I could have done the frozen stir-fry veggies, but I didn't really think about it. I was looking at the one recipe with the green beans, and I didn't want to do the green beans, so that's why I chose broccoli. So we'll see how this turns out. Ultimately, I'm going to cook this until the noodles are cooked, and then we're going to drain off the liquid, and we're going to put the chicken back in, and then I will add my hoisin sauce, oyster sauce, and soy sauce on there. And that will be it. We'll be ready to plate it up, and then all I have to do is make the chicken fajitas. That meal requires, I'll probably have to wash this pan, and then I need like a pot for the cauliflower rice, and then one for the chicken, one for the peppers. So this will take 3 pans to make the chicken fajitas. Alrighty guys, noodles are done. Liquid has been drained. We are going to go back in with our ground chicken now. Oh, there's my bread. Let me check that. Be right back. Okay, now we're going to go back in with some of our sauce. We're just going to kind of eyeball it with the soy sauce. And again, probably on the nights that we eat this, we will put some soy sauce on it. And then I'm going to do some of the hoisin sauce. And we'll do a little bit of the oyster sauce. Okay, and we're basically going to just mix this up. I'm going to do a taste test, see if it tastes okay. If it's good, then we will be ready to plate up, and this meal will be done. And I just got the bread out of the oven, so I will be right back to show you the finished meals and our banana bread. And then I just have to make my chicken fajitas. And those come together pretty quick. Okay, I feel like the sauce is a good amount of sauce on here. Wanted to make sure all of the noodles were getting coated pretty well. Okay, I'll be right back. Alrighty guys, first here is the banana bread. It has just been out of the oven for a few minutes, but it is looking perfect. Hopefully it turns out as good as it always has in the past. And then over here I have my ramen bowls, my sesame chicken ramen and broccoli bowls. I don't really know what you'd call it. I combined like those 2 different recipes. I gave it a little taste. It's delicious. So I will leave my final rating on the screen for you here as well after we've eaten it a couple of times this week and let you know what we think. But so far so good. Now let's move on to chicken fajitas. Alrighty guys, I'm ready to get started on the chicken fajitas and the cauliflower Spanish rice. I have my chicken here. I've already seasoned it up really well with salt and pepper. I'm basically going to cook it, and then I will season it up some more with some fajita seasoning, which this is the one that I like to use, the Badia. Let's see if it will focus. I like this one. I'm going to refill that, but I want to use this up first because it is older. I may get a little bit of cumin and chili powder out as well, but I will also use the fajita seasoning in with the cauliflower rice and 2 cans of Rotel. I have 1 can of original, 1 can of fire roasted, and then I have 6 bell peppers sliced up here. And so I'm going to put the bell peppers and the red skillet cauliflower in here and chicken here, and then I will combine the chicken in with the peppers once it is cooked. I just like to cook it separate. So let's get started. Okay, so first thing, I'm going to spray everything really well with my extra virgin olive oil spray. I'm going to go ahead and get the bell peppers started because those take a little while, and I'm just going to season those up quickly with the salt and pepper and some of the fajita seasoning as well. And I'm also going to put the lid on. That will help those soften up. We're going to go ahead and get the skillet on for the chicken and let it start warming and get the cauliflower rice in. Now for the cauliflower rice, I do kind of break it up in the bag. I just kind of smash it with my hand until it breaks up. And we're basically going to put this in and just put the lid on it and let it thaw out. And then we will add in the rotel. I might go ahead and add salt and pepper now. Okay, so the cauliflower just needs to soften up. Lid's going to go on that as well. And then we're going to go ahead and put our chicken in. Okay, so everything's in. Everything needs to start cooking, warming up, all of that stuff. I'll be back. I'm going to get my rotel open and just start getting everything else prepped. This meal kind of comes together pretty quick, and everything kind of comes together at about the same time. We'll be back probably to put the rotel and stuff in the cauliflower before this is done. It doesn't take very long for that to thaw. Okay, so the cauliflower rice is definitely thawed, and we're going to go in with both cans of our rotel. Again, I have a fire roasted and an original. Okay, got the rotel mixed in there really well. We are going to go ahead and go in with a little bit more salt and pepper. And then we're going to do quite a bit of the fajita seasoning. And I think I'm going to go ahead and sprinkle the rest of this on the chicken. And since I like things with just a little extra spice, I am going to grab my chili powder and ground cumin and add a little bit of that to the cauliflower. And so basically the cauliflower just needs to cook down until all of the liquid is gone, and then it will be ready, and it will actually kind of look like Spanish rice. And it's delicious. I like to eat this with my baked Tostitos. This is a 0-point meal, so I love this meal. This is an old one, but a good one. So she definitely comes back all the time. Okay, I'm going to check on my peppers. They're cooking up nicely. I'm going to focus on the chicken now. I need to turn the temp up and kind of get this to cooking. And I also need to, so I'm just going to use the fajita seasoning out of this container, and then I will fill my other one once I'm done. Sometimes it makes a mess, so we're going to go in with a little bit more of this. And I like to cook the chicken until it's a little bit crispy. Once it's pretty much done, then we will add in the Frontera sauce. And again, this sauce is really good. It is hard to find at the grocery stores. I used to be able to find it at both Publix or Kroger, but the last time I had to order like a 6-pack from Amazon, and I'm down to 1 pack, so I'll probably have to order some more from them. Okay, so my chicken is about done. It is getting nice and crispy like I like it, so we're going to go ahead and add in most of the Frontera sauce. I do like to save a little bit, and then when I add this into the bell peppers, then I add the rest of the sauce. And that just gives it that perfect like little glaze and nice fajita taste. That is hot. That is like burning my hand. Okay, let's check this. Let's bring you around here. So the cauliflower is looking pretty good. I still see a little bit of liquid in there. I like for it to be a little bit drier. So it just needs a few more minutes. Usually I will go ahead and plate up the peppers and the chicken while this is still kind of cooking, but it is almost done. The bell peppers are pretty much done. And what I'm going to do is put the chicken in with the bell peppers, add the rest of the Frontera sauce, and it will be done. And this is looking delicious as well. This pan won't never stay still. But I love this pan. I cook with it all the time. It cooks really well. So this is pretty much done. I'm going to pull the peppers over here on this side and put the chicken in, so I will be right back. Okay, I got the chicken in there. We need to put the rest of the Frontera sauce. And I'm just going to let this cook for 3 or 4 more minutes. I mean, it's pretty much done. But just kind of let the peppers and the chicken come together for a few minutes. And this is going to be ready to plate up. Again, this is another one of those super quick and easy meals. I know it seems a little bit complicated because it's 3 different pots or whatever going at one time, but it's honestly so easy and so good and 0 points. So let me plate it up and we will be done with meal prep. Alrighty guys, the chicken fajitas and the Spanish cauliflower rice is all plated up and ready for us for the week. This is a beautiful, colorful dish. I can't even say that. Again, I've made this several times. It usually comes about every couple of months or so, sometimes more often, just depending on our mood, but I love it. It is so good. 0 points as it is. You could eat this with Olay Extreme Wellness Wraps, or like me, I like to eat the cauliflower rice with the baked Tostitos. I just like dip it with that. For some reason, that's perfect to me. But anyway, that's going to wrap us up for the day. Alrighty guys, thank you for joining me for another little weekend vlog, a Sunday meal prep. I hope that y'all enjoyed it. Let me know down in the comments below if you're going to make any of these recipes, and I hope that y'all have a great week. Happy Sunday, all of that stuff. I love y'all. I love my Jennifer's Gems, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye guys.